Retro Slacker here with a bit more of a serious video than I'm used to doing. Throughout our lives, we're each challenged by big decisions, one or the other, and we have to choose. Things like Coke or Pepsi, DC or Marvel, you know, Mary Kate or Ashley, maybe even Willem or Defoe. But the biggest decision I've ever had to face is vintage or modern toys. I recently went down to my cousin Michael's house. I will put the address and his social security number in the description below. You know, we grew up together. We grew up playing video games and playing with action figures. And so anyway, I went down to his house where he has a massive collection.
That is one big pile of
toys.
We're talking not just a display case, not just a toy room, but a toy house. And what really piqued my interest and sort of had me questioning some things is that his collection is a big mix of modern toys and vintage toys. This is a mix of childhood stuff?
Yep. Two on the left are the originals.
Right, these two. Yep. What is it about a vintage toy that I'm attracted to? And what is it about a modern toy that he's attracted to? I thought I would just sort of explore that a little bit and also give you a chance to see some of the incredible toys that he has.
Okay.
Well.
Oh yeah, I will be hiding Michael's face for the duration of this video to conceal his international supermodel identity. Okay, back to the video.
What? Oh. This is Grandpa's Sega Master System. Because Grandma was gonna put that in a garage sale.
Right. You're like, no, you're not.
I will buy it.
I will buy it. Did you buy it or she gave it to you?
I bought it.
She didn't just give it to you?
No.
What?
Yeah.
Your grandmother charged you for that?
Yeah.
You little bitch ass mother.
Now, while I was there, I was lucky enough to see his sort of like pride and joy, which is a My Pet Monster.
His feet and hands are intact.
Wow.
Usually that wears off. Usually all the silver's gone, all the toenails, fingernails are gone. And then he still has the dark spots on his nose, which usually that rubs off.
Absolutely pristine My Pet Monster. You could eat food off its feet, which would be so weird to do.
You're really weird.
Piece of meat sticking out?
Yep.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's so cool.
Which is really grim.
You know, why are we chasing this piece of nostalgia from our childhood just to feel that feeling we had when we opened that toy as a kid? Why do we need that now? When you have an option of something cheaper, something newer, something technically better, why do we still want the older, potentially crappier version of the toy? Is it the sticky plastic that's degrading over time? Is it the grandma cigarette smell that sometimes they have when you buy them online? I think a good example of this whole vintage versus modern thing would be my favorite Ninja Turtle character, Mondo Gecko. Here we have the original, and here we have the NECA version from 2023. This one is incredibly well made. It's super cool, super articulated, you know, has amazing accessories that it comes with. And this one, it's kind of grimy, it's smaller, it's like huskier, it's grittier, it's got more texture to it, but I absolutely love this one. And I would choose this one every time. But I don't entirely know why. A lot of it comes down to a feeling. And so when I went to my cousin Michael's house, it was a little bit eye-opening to see a lot of like the new Super 7 Ninja Turtles and actually how beautiful they were. So why not choose the modern version? It is arguably a better action figure.
Collecting is all about what do I want to get out of that item. So for most of my life, I was collecting retro games and I wanted the whole experience. I wanted to play the game, I wanted to take the game, put it in the console that it was meant for. I wanted the box or the case so that when you see them all on the shelf, it has that experience of when you were a kid, you know, to have that actual box meant something. It was a part of it. And there was a part of me too that's like, as I have these items that are rarer and rarer, I'm now, making sure that they stay and they're remembered and they can be passed on. But that's when I moved over to toys. That's not the same thing that I wanted from them. I just wanted the experience of what it was like having that specific item when I was a kid. And for that reason, it didn't matter if it was retro or if it was new, as long as it is a good representation of what I'm trying to get out of that memory or that feeling. And, I can buy the original one looking around for it forever for, $150, or I can go to Target and I can buy the exact same thing for $15. Can I get that thing as I remember it, not as it was? So as I started collecting, I loved TMNT and I had all the Playmates. And for me, as I'm looking at them, they're all so small and they're just not as detailed and they're not what I remember my kid brain making them into. When Super7 was releasing these figures, when they announced them, and I saw like, that's what I want. I want what that toy looked like as a kid in my head, not what it actually looked like with, bigger and more detailed. And I actually think Mondo, as they're releasing their turtles, they said it perfectly, which is, they're bigger figures. And they said, well, when you were a kid, you had small hands and the figures were small. And now you're an adult. So now they're big enough that when you hold them, it feels to you now the same way holding it as a kid felt to you.
What Michael says there is really fascinating and makes a lot of sense. If I'm looking at these Mondo Gecko toys, right? When I'm a kid, I do have these tiny hands, and this toy even feels big to me. It feels larger than life in a way, because I've seen it on the cartoons, and now I have it in my hands. But as an adult, I don't have that same feeling with this toy. Take a modern one, and now all of a sudden it's bigger. It has that feeling that I had when I was a kid holding these toys. I think that's really attractive to Michael, and not something I'd actually heard anyone explain in that way before. When you look at these Super7 Ninja Turtles, the quality is superior to the originals. But when you look at something like Madballs, here's an original Screamin' Mimi, which I finally got, thank you to Boyd. If you compare this to what they just released in 2024, the end of 2024, there's a pretty stark difference in quality. You can go back and see the Madball review video that I did, and you can see in detail what those are like. And compared to the originals, it's basically not even the same toy. Just because it's modern doesn't mean it's made better.
Madballs! Madballs!
Boglins, which I wanted forever, my Boglin didn't make it to now. A lot of them, you look at the original ones and they're falling apart, and the material they were made out of isn't holding up, and the paint's all off. So when Tim Clark announced he was re-releasing Boglins, I'm all in, because now I can have that Boglin the way it looked when I was a kid, and that's all that I really want out of it.
Oh, did I scare you?
Those are Snaliens, and that's a lunatic.
Is there a ton more of these?
There's 4 of them, 4 of these.
Okay, these are so cool.
And then each one, I lost his unfortunately, but each one comes with a little buddy.
Snaliens. I seriously haven't thought about Snaliens since I was like 6 years old at his house playing with him.
These are old Keshi Mario things from Japan. Yeah, that's the original, my original Earthworm Jim.
Oh yeah.
And then the princess, what's her name?
Crossfire! Here's an original vintage. Here's the retro release. Now this one has some marks on it because it's 40 years old or whatever. But when you put them next to each other, it's basically identical. The companies that are doing their retro re-releases of like a ton of the Turtles, they do them so well that unless it says it on the packaging, if I see these at a store, I have to look for the year. It's like a perfect replica. And yet, when I see this in my display case, I feel like a sense of pride that I found this one, that I have this piece of sort of history, if you will. If these are on a shelf and you're not staring at it, you're not analyzing it, can you tell the difference between these two? I don't know, I'd be curious, and be honest, don't don't call me an idiot. Well, you can call me an idiot, or you can call me whatever you want, really.
Those I actually did collect.
As a kid, right?
Yeah.
Like I remember getting, where would we get them? We just like at the...
There was like that pharmacy.
Pretending you like sports. Yeah. I think I had all these Arrow monsters too. But my mom hates me and got rid of everything.
And Scorpion.
Now this is a rare, a rare original.
That's an artist
Why
proof.
did you do that?
That's an artist proof.
Did you just not have the Scorpion card and you were like...
I literally could not tell you.
It says protection in case someone tries to break in.
This is a guy.
Oh, wow.
Has a website. He's on Instagram. Snaliens.
Oh, I know Toy Snob, yeah.
These are Spoops. He makes these by hand and he sells them on Etsy sometimes. But what's incredible about them is I had ordered these not knowing who he was. And then I found out he's also the voice of Gambit in X-Men 97.
Really?
Yeah, they're hard. So
Right.
how do you make articulation? So it's just magnets,
Oh, that is really smart.
which is smart because it still functions. This is Mario from Donkey Kong. This
so
is the Pauline.
It's nice that these figures have a story behind them. I actually like when I see on a shoe, you know, like Toy Story Andy. I love when I see a name, or I know that when it came for me, it was like a single owner and this person has owned this thing for 40 years and now I get it. There is something nice about these figures having a story attached to them. The story is put into the plastic and you can kind of feel it. Or I am full of so much and blowing so much hot air right now. You know, I think in the end, it just doesn't matter. I don't hurt you by liking vintage stuff and you don't hurt me by liking modern stuff.
Come get a taste.
So let's just all collect whatever the hell we want to collect. And I think that can be applied to so much in the world. This is so heavy and serious. I'm hearing myself talk about this as if I'm giving like some sort of dissertation about, you know, environmental science and fossil fuels, and I'm talking about Ninja Turtle action figures, which, you know, is absurd. But I love it, so who cares? A huge thank you to Michael for allowing me to show the collection to people, to get up all in your space, to go through all of your underwear drawers and put cameras in all of your rooms to watch you while you sleep. I really appreciate that. And also this shirt here, this amazing Creepy Crawler shirt, was designed by Michael. I'll put the link in the description. It's on TeePublic. You can just search Creepy Crawler shirt and there's a few designs and he's got like 65 designs on there. He's got My Pet Monster and Monsters in My Pocket and all sorts of cool stuff. So much appreciation and love for all of you people that are watching these videos, sending me messages, commenting, and please like, subscribe, comment, share. Hit me up on Instagram. You know, I love hanging out with people there. I love talking to people on Instagram. Please send me a message. Tell me you saw this video. Let's talk. So until next time, I am Retro Slacker, and this has been the modern versus vintage video, and it's been real. Thank you. See ya.